Want to support what we do here? Go to mwpnews.com and click the Help Us Out link to buy one of my ebooks for $2.99, or you can support directly at bewareofspoilers.com. Good morning and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie.
You look a little confused by me saying good morning, and let me explain why. I said good morning when it is 6 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. We record these and then I put them, they go up Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Oh,
So to the listener, it will likely be morning.
okay.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
It has, so do you remember a few days ago I asked you, hey, do you want a copy of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? And then I haven't provided that yet.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I want to take a minute to address this situation, because it's a little ridiculous what's going on here. So I actually have the 4K Blu-ray here. I bought it at Walmart, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes on 4K Blu-ray, because I am a big physical media collector. I'm sure most people who listen to this show know this because I don't trust streaming services. We're not getting
Is that the reason?
It's part of it. It definitely is a good part of it.
I thought it was just because you're weird.
Okay, well, I'm not discounting that aspect of this. But that's definitely a part of it, but a big part of it, I don't like. The reason that I'm weird is because I don't trust the streaming services. Because we've been over this. I want to watch a movie. I have to go fucking hunting for it. It's a pain in the ass. I'd rather just be able to go to my shelf and grab a copy of the Blu-ray and pop it in. So this 4K Blu-ray has been nothing but a headache since I bought it.
Okay.
And let me explain why. So on here, it says at the top, 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray plus digital. Like, it says that at the top of this. Here. And then on the back, it says, includes digital copy. Watch anywhere on all your devices. Movie only. Which, okay, fine, I get it. You're not going to give all the special features. Special features are only on the 4K disc. I get that. Because that's the way it always is. Then I do what you do. You take it out of the little O-ring case, and then you have the thing. You rip the plastic off, and you get that clean, thing. And then you open it, and there's no little paper inside for the code. Which I was like, huh, that's weird. So then I look, and I did the fucking SpongeBob thing where it's like, did you look under the tray? Like, I went like this and like popped it like this, so that way, like, let me see if I can get an angle you can see. Where it's like, if this is the cover, like, this is the cover, I turned it like this and went like that, so you could see inside underneath, nothing on there. And I was like, huh, that's weird. So I'm thinking, like, there's no way that you have to put the disc into the computer to do that. Because, well, no, because here's the thing. It wouldn't be on the Blu-ray, it'd be on the 4K, and they don't make 4K external readers. And most computers don't have 4K things. So unless they're saying you have to have a 4K Blu-ray player and an account with Movies Anywhere linked to it, and then put the disc in, you're not. That's how you get your digital copy. So I emailed Lionsgate at this point because I was like, "What the fuck?" Because at this point I had already offered
getting
it
to the bottom of this shit.
Well, because I had already offered it to you, and then I felt bad because I was like, "Oh," I said, "Hey, do you want this?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And then I opened it, I'm like, "Fuck, there's no code." So I emailed Lionsgate, and they told me, "Well, you have to you have to email Walmart about this." And I'm like, "Pause. It's a box. You open the box, and there should be a piece of paper inside. Walmart doesn't know what's in the box. That's not Walmart's job. It's the job of the manufacturer to be like, what's there?" So I explained that in the follow-up email. And they're like, "Well, sorry, nothing we can do about that. You have to email this other team. So the matter still pens, and you will eventually get this fucking code."
Just send a code.
What?
Just
See,
send
that's
a
the
code.
thing.
Like, come on.
That's the thing. If I'm going through the effort to email you and be like, "Hey, look, I bought the fucking
like
DVD."
it'd be less effort for them to just send you a code.
And it's like, I have a Blu-ray. Like, I could send them a picture of the fucking Blu-ray player I have, like, or my Xbox which plays 4K. Like,
Mhm.
but the point is, I offered the code to someone. I can't tell them that because you're not supposed to do that. But you know,
Right.
like once the code is for you, you're not. I can't tell them, like, look, I already offered someone the code, and they're like, well, now we're really not giving you one.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's just like it's one of those things where it's like it can't possibly be that you have to put it into the computer because it would say on like that happened to me once when
Are
I
you
got
sure
the
the code's not like hidden somewhere like in the menus?
see that's what I was that's what it, you put it in the computer. But the issue is it's like that's only happened to me once, and that was when I bought the collection of X-Men movies at Walmart, the first three X-Men movies in a collection, and that was on DVD,
Mm-hmm.
and that was also like 15 years ago.
Well,
And
we're
it's
trying to
like,
cut down on paper.
yeah, but look at how much paper there is involved here to begin with. Like, if you want to cut that on paper, get rid of this fucking slipcase. Like
I don't know.
the slipcase that most people just throw away if they're gonna buy a movie at all, they
Oh
throw
no,
away
I don't
this.
think most people throw that away.
The only time I really keep the slipcase is if it's a lenticular cover.
Oh,
Like,
I keep them.
no, I don't because it takes up too much extra space on the shelf. When you have movies in the
Oh.
volume that I do, you need every
Oh.
fraction of an inch.
The flex.
I mean, look, I don't wanna put a number on there, but when you got over 600 DVDs,
Oh my goodness.
yep,
You should just open your own store.
like a video rental store.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that.
What?
I was gonna say I definitely have the attitude for that, but it's like, well, if fucking what's his name from
You do
Clerks,
though.
if fucking what's his name from Clerks could do it, I definitely could do it.
Or the guy from The Simpsons, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. You know what? I think about the time, and I've talked about it on the show when I went to the comic book store by my house, and the guy was just judgy about me
What
asking,
was he
like,
judging?
well, I went in. This was 15 years ago at this point, and I've gone back
Okay.
once since. Um,
It haunts you to this day.
Yeah, so I went in because at the time I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! To a point where I was playing it in the games club in high school. As you can
Hmm.
tell, I got a ton of pussy in high school. So
You're not supposed to call people that.
I don't think I think it works if you're doing it in within the lens of it was 2010, it's fine. Um
No.
all right, well either
Supposed to
way.
say I didn't get along with the ladies.
Oh, okay. Well, either way. Regardless, um I was really into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time. The point stands no matter how we phrase it. Um, Either way, I was really into playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and what they did was they had a limited edition run of a few of the Egyptian god cards that were tournament legal versions because like the version as it appeared on the show you couldn't use in the game because the cards made no sense if you tried
Okay.
to play them in the game. So they had these tournament legal versions that had explanations of the effects that way you can actually play it. Regardless, um, I was like,
Tangent.
the only place you could get these cards was in Shonen Jump magazine, which, if you don't know, it's a collection of manga they put out every month.
Oh, okay.
And you would pick it up and it'd be like they'd have the new issue of at the time I think it was like Bleach was still running at the time, Naruto was still running at the time, One Piece was definitely still running at the time because One Piece is still running to this day. Um, and then there was like a Dragon Ball. Like they were reissuing Dragon Ball, and the one that I was really into was Jekko, which was Akira Toriyama. Either way, regardless, that's not the point. Point is,
Okay.
it's a Japanese comic book, is what it is. It's a
Okay.
Japanese comic book. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So I go into the
Okay.
comic book store because as comic book, and I go to the guy. I'm like, hey, do you have Shonen Jump? And this motherfucker, you would have thought I went down like, hey, do you have like anthrax that I could use to send through the mail to someone I don't like? Like the attitude I got from this guy, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where it's like, it's a comic book. I'm not the asshole here. You are.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you have a 7 foot tall statue of Superman in the window, and I'm the asshole for asking for a comic. Like just because it's like so he's like no. So then I didn't go back there for 10 years.
Jesus. You just like don't forgive or move on. You're
No,
like, no, that's it. It's dead to me.
no.
I
There are
was
games.
embarrassed slightly, so I'm
Well,
never
no.
going back.
Well, I still haven't been back to that
Did you
shop,
ever
right?
go back? I was
No,
gonna ask you.
no. I have not come back to that shop, right?
They're not gonna remember you.
No, especially because
Like,
I didn't. Especially because it was I dealt with the Coke rep, not with the actual worker from the store. Like,
no, I know when the Coke with the Coke.
no, I know, but
Yeah,
the
no,
point
they're
I'm
not
making
gonna
is,
remember you.
but yeah, either way, never going back. It's like, um, there are game stops I won't go to because if I hear that people are too judgy, I won't go and shop there because I'm like, if they're judging these people, I'm not gonna get judged too.
I think you're thinking people give more of a shit than they do.
Well, because it's like I went in there once and this guy was talking about like, oh, there, like this guy came in, he was buying a kids game, and I'm like, newsflash, buddy, everything in here is a kids game. You work at a fucking video game store.
And that's what you have to say.
Like, no, I didn't say that.
You have to say that shit. You have to say it back. Just be like, "Hey, you judgmental prick. You're being a fucking ass." Like that's all
You
you just
work
have to
in
stand
a
up for
video game
yourself and
store.
say it.
What,
Yeah.
like,
I don't usually get people being if they're being judgy, it's not something that I notice. And I think on the moments that I do notice, I just give them a look back and they
it,
usually like fuck off.
I would assume you would probably get more judged than I would buying anything like that, only because you're a girl.
I don't I don't care though. So
Like,
like it doesn't bother me.
someone
Like
sees
I
me
don't take
walking
that
in with
with
my
me.
shirt that barely fits right, and like, the receding hairline, like, okay, this guy's buying Star Wars shit. That makes sense. It's like they see you come in, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is
I
weird.
don't
We
if
have to
they're
check our
judging me, I
credentials.
don't care.
Like,
Like it doesn't bother me. Like I don't let it bother me. 'Cause
oh,
like
so it does bother you. You just don't let it
And
bother you.
you know what? It's probably it doesn't bother me at all. Like I don't think about it and I don't there's on the rare occasions where maybe I feel like somebody was judging me. Um, but most of the
Judging is the
time if
wrong
like it's
word.
gotta be really
Like, I don't think you're getting judged. I think it's more it like
okay, what's the word? Because like
I
I
enjoy telling you how you experience things that I'm not there for.
yeah,
Um, like I think what I'm trying to say is I think you're more likely to get gate kept than I am going into a store.
I just ask questions and I talk to the people.
Oh, I don't talk
Like
to anyone.
or I don't talk to anybody and I just buy the shit that I wanted to buy.
There are T-shirts that I will not wear to work because I do not want to have the conversation that it has that it invites.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't wear t-shirts that invite conversation at to work ever.
Well,
But you can invite it. You can wear like them out and about if
there are
you're looking
shirts
to
that,
fight people.
yeah, I have a shirt that says "What the fuck are you looking at?" and I wear that when
You
I'm in a
can't wear
mood.
that to work.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have that shirt. No, I don't have that shirt. I have like
I have a lot of shirts that say
go fuck
like
yourself.
drinking things.
Oh, you don't wear those to work?
I don't wear those to work. I wear business casual to work.
Oh, I work at a warehouse, so I get to wear whatever the fuck I want, which
Lucky
is
duck.
jeans and a t-shirt most days. But like, I'm trying to make the t-shirts better, because like one of the things I realized recently is that I have not really updated my wardrobe in the last 10 years. So a lot of the t-shirts that you saw me in the last time that we physically were in the same room together, I still wear to this day. Um,
I have a lot of my clothes too, but they're definitely the t-shirts, but not I've updated like the rest of my
There
wardrobe.
was one shirt that I got for free and you probably got the same shirt too when we were in Albany, the Danes After Dark shirt that
Yeah,
was like that
yeah.
black. Like, number one, it didn't fit me right after a certain point because fat. But like the other thing was like it
Same though.
we got bleach on it when me and Peter were moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because this couldn't have been my idea. I don't remember whose idea it is, but it doesn't sound like my idea. This sounds like his idea, where it's like and I will ask him the next time we he's on a podcast because which is gonna be this weekend or last weekend. But either way, my timing's all fucked up. When we were moving, he insisted on saving the half a bottle of bleach.
Oh no, for what? Drinking? Like
For cleaning. And I was like, I feel like this is the kind of thing where it's like it's not something where I'm like, yeah,
no,
we
no,
gotta keep that.
you don't travel with bleach unless it's just going down the road. Like,
Well, it was going to the storage unit.
yeah, no.
So we get to the storage unit, and his comment about what happened is seared into my memory forever. Because we open the trunk, we pick it up, and all I hear, I'm not looking at him, all I hear is something wet happened. And I'm like,
Gross.
what the fuck is he talking about? At this point, I'm
Were you
already
like, what, in
holding
your
it.
pants? Like,
At
dude,
this point, I'm
chill.
already holding it, and I'm picking up the bag, and I've now gotten bleach all over the shirt and ruined it. So yeah,
Oh,
so that I no longer have that shirt.
do you want mine?
No, I don't think we're
I'll
the same
send it to
size.
you.
I don't think we're
You
the
could
same
like
size.
turn it into a pillow or something.
I did turn a few of my old shirts into,
I don't
well, let
actually
me
know if I
rephrase.
still have it.
Let me rephrase. I didn't. My grandmother did it for me. A few of my old shirts into a blanket.
Oh, that's cool.
She knows how to sew and stuff.
Yeah,
And she's like, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
that sounds cute.
So it's like there was a shirt from like Princeton Mall Congress. There was a shirt from like there were a lot of fucking t-shirts. Like that was one of the things that like I think we talked about. We've definitely talked about it. Maybe not on this show, but the amount of shit that I went to because there was a free t-shirt involved. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was like one of the best motivating factors to get someone to go anywhere. It was like the free t-shirt. And I think
Yeah, we went to
someone
a lot of things for free t-shirts.
someone said it freshman year. It's like I never understood how Girls Gone Wild happened, but then it's like, yeah, I would go a lot of places for a free t-shirt. Like,
Would you show your boobs for a free t-shirt?
I don't think it really applies for me.
Well, I put yourself in the shoes.
I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
Like, do I look like I do now, but as a girl? Like, definitely not. Like, I'm a guy. I don't take off my shirt in public. Like, what the fuck?
No, you'd be a girl, so you'd probably be cuter.
Yeah, I don't think that.
'Cause
Like,
like, I don't know,
I
girls are
don't
just naturally cuter than most
know. Yeah.
boys.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like I refuse to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Like that's just
Aw,
not happening.
that's silly. You shouldn't let that stuff.
Oh no, like I've been meaning to go to the gym to like get into shape.
Yeah.
Um, but it has not happened yet. I think we talked about it on the show when I got my gym membership. I have still yet to actually go to the gym.
Hmm.
I did buy a lock for the locker, and I did buy shorts and a bag to change with, but I have yet
Are
to
you
actually
paying
go
for the
to the gym.
membership?
Now, look, let's not get into the details like that.
Oh boy, are you?
Yes.
Oh no.
I think I get reimbursed from my health insurance if I figure out how to do that.
Okay. But
So,
you might have to prove to your health insurance that you went so many times.
I mean, how would you prove that?
You have to like give them a receipt.
They don't give you a receipt at Planet Fitness when you walk in.
You can ask them for a thing that says like all the times you've ever clocked in,
Huh.
because a lot of people need it for their insurance.
Huh. Well then.
Just so you know, that might be a thing that you're asked to do. You should just go. The hardest part is going the first
See,
time.
I don't think going the first time is the issue. Well, yeah, it is the issue. I have yet to
It
do it,
it
so
is
it is an
currently
issue.
the issue.
Yeah. Well defined to be what
Sorry, but
um
I know you don't like it when I'm right, but
no. It's
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like I like, and the thing is too, where I am right now, I'm walking distance from the gym.
you could go. You
I
could
just
go
didn't I
after
didn't
we record.
I didn't bring a change of clothes with me. That's the issue.
But aren't you like near a Walmart? Just go pick up some shorts or something.
I'm not spending more money on shorts. I have when I say I have more, I don't own any regular shorts. I only own basketball shorts.
Okay, then put a couple of them into your car.
And to give you a frame of reference for how long ago I bought this gym bag, it's a Black Panther Wakanda Forever gym bag that I got on clearance at Walmart for like $5.
Ugh.
What? Why the judginess for that? Like
You're funny, that's all.
it's
Um, get your just get your gym bag and then put a couple things of shorts in there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I'm look,
And then
tomorrow
put it into your car. And
to,
then when you feel like, man, I could go to the gym tonight, like tonight I'm gonna do it because I'm not as nervous as I've been. And then you just go.
it's not
Because I'm
nerves about
assuming that it's
going. It's
nerves.
not nerves about going. It's the the fact that historically I have not liked working out.
No,
Um
nobody likes working out,
like
like except
his
for weirdos.
Like the last, like when I was in high school, I played tennis. Like I was on the JV tennis team in high school.
I feel like I remember you saying that.
Well, yeah, I mean, before that in junior high, I did cross country, and let me tell you, that was a humiliating
Yeah,
experience.
I don't like cross country.
Because it's like that was the thing where it's like it started like I wasn't a good runner, and I did track like with the church in like middle school and junior high, and it's like I couldn't do it. I'm not a good runner. So my dad is like, look, you got to do a sport. So why don't you do cross country? And I'm like, why? And he's
Yeah,
like, because it's distance. That's better for you. Because what you'll do is, you may not be able to run and sprint, but you can do the long distance. And let me just say, no,
that's
no,
not, yeah, those don't equate together.
no.
Um,
That did not work.
yeah.
So that was a humiliating experience. So it's like if you think coming in
Are you
last in
nervous about what you would do? Like you
no,
don't
I
know
know
what
what
to
I would do.
do?
I know what I would do. Like I would go there and just be on the elliptical because like that's the thing I like using. Like,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and the thing that sucked was when I was doing physical therapy last year for my arm when I had the
Mm-hmm.
tennis elbow issue. Like I liked going and using the machine. It's just for whatever reason, there's like a mental thing where it's like going to the physical gym to go and do it. Like even in college where it's like we had the gym in the door that anyone could go to at any
Yeah,
time.
I
Like
used it a few times.
when we were living on Liberty, in junior year, the gym was 3 floors directly below us, and I never
Mm-hmm.
went there.
Hmm.
Like it's just a like I have other like and I think part of it is too. It's like I look at it, I'm like during the time I'm working out, I'm stuck and I can't do anything besides that. And I try to use my like it may sound like something that you're gonna be like you're completely bullshitting me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't like using my time in a way that is only one way. Like
No, no,
I like to
I like to
multitask.
multitask.
Like
You can listen to your book.
I'm listening to Dune again. That's the book I'm listening to, and that's
Well,
what
I
I do
mean,
at
like
work.
while you're on the elliptical.
Well, that's what I do at work all day.
Mm.
Like like
Or maybe you should read.
read on
Maybe
the
you should
elliptical.
bring a Kindle
Well,
and
that's
like
the issue
read.
where it's like I just listen to my book. If I want to read something, I listen to it while I'm at work. Like, if I
Then
could
put
figure out a
a,
way to
do you
put
have like a little
Netflix on,
tablet?
no, I can use my phone and watch Netflix, I
There
guess.
you go.
So I could watch Avatar: The Last Airbender when that comes
There
out.
you go. Done.
Um,
Figured out. What's holding
yeah.
you back? Nothing. Ain't nothing holding you back.
Well, today it's not
S-
having my bag with me. Tomorrow I'll go though.
Solved.
Tomorrow I will go
Done.
to the gym.
Absolutely solved. We've solved the mystery, Scooby-Doo. Um, so what are we talking about today?
That I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about the Xbox Direct, like because you heard about the whole drama with Xbox, right? Over the last like month or so.
Oh, the Xbox? No.
Where it's like, so there were reports that Xbox were gonna start putting out their main first party titles on third party.
Mm-hmm.
So like their big games that are Xbox exclusive would end up going to PlayStation and Nintendo.
Okay.
As a disgusting Xbox troglodyte, how do you feel about that?
I don't really play the Xbox too much anymore.
You just completely
So I
gloss
don't
over the insult. You're
I
like,
don't particularly feel any way about it.
see, that's the thing where it's like I don't understand people who got upset about this. Where it's
Hmm.
like for me, if I had a console of choice, like if because like let's keep the Switch out of it because the Switch is its own entity at
Yeah,
this
it
point.
doesn't, yeah, Nintendo stuff doesn't count.
Because it's like Nintendo stuff is gonna like
Nintendo is its own category. Like
exactly
it does not compete
it's
with
very
the
much
others.
Sony and Microsoft. So with
Right.
Sony and Microsoft, like I very much am a PlayStation player over an Xbox player. Um, because I think for me it entirely comes down to I prefer the DualShock over the Xbox controller. Like
Okay.
I find the DualShock more comfortable, and that's because I've been playing with the DualShock since I was 3 years old.
Hmm.
Um, but the the thing is, if at the end of this year Sony came out and was like, okay, we're putting Spider-Man on Xbox, I wouldn't be annoyed about that. I wouldn't be like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? I wouldn't treat it as like some kind of big betrayal. It's like, okay, you're putting it on Xbox. Who cares? Like,
Mm-hmm.
more people get to play the game. That's good for me because if more people play, then they might make more of them. So it's a net benefit for me.
Okay.
But when the reports started coming out about this, it was like, oh, they're gonna put Halo on PlayStation. Oh, they're gonna put Gears of War on PlayStation. Oh, they're gonna put all these things on PlayStation and on the Switch. And I'm like, I could see from a business standpoint why it would make sense, especially for collections of old games on the
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation. Because like at this point, if someone has not played Halo because they've been playing PlayStation all their life, they're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna get an Xbox to play the new Halo.
Right.
But what you could do is you could put the game on there and be like, look, this is what Halo is. If you want to play Halo, the new one when it comes out, you gotta get an Xbox. Or Gears
Yeah.
of War would be a great example of that. Um, that's something I could see working, but they're not putting those games on. What it turned out happened was this got blown so out of proportion that the heads of Xbox at Microsoft had to come together and put out a podcast where they were like, "Here's an explanation for what for what we're doing and how that's gonna work." Did you send an IM?
No.
Okay, I saw you typing, and I thought you were trying to send me an IM inconspicuously. Um,
So
so
you
it's
just decided to call me out on it?
well, no, because I don't know how to open the message thing on here. Um,
Gosh, you're
but
rude.
but regardless, so it's they all get together and they put out this podcast, and I didn't listen to the podcast directly. I listened to this other podcast do commentary over it.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced it was like Pentiment was going multi-platform. Hi-Fi Rush. If you haven't played Hi-Fi Rush, play Hi-Fi Rush. That game is fantastic.
What's Hi-Fi Rush? You're just saying it so fast.
Hi-Fi Rush it's a game. You ever play Beautiful Joe? Probably not because you didn't have a PlayStation, but it's
Mm.
this kind of cel-shaded rhythm game where you go through and you fight robots with this guy who has a guitar for like a sword, and
Okay.
there's music playing the whole time, and you do more damage for doing attacks in sync with the music.
Oh, there's lots of games out there like that.
It's really fun though.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
it
cool.
it was my select for game of the year last year.
Oh, did you have
Um,
good rhythm?
no, I still had
Oh,
fun with the game though.
that's good. Good for
It
you.
it's like how it's like I'm not good at Souls like games like Dark Souls, but like I still really enjoyed like Lies of P just as a GS site. But
Okay.
either way, it's like they were talking about it, and it's like, do you think they're gonna sit there and actually jump right into the topic, or are they gonna sit there for like 20 minutes and just bullshit before they get into what everyone's talking about? And it's like that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
So regardless, I think that we don't have any big news this week, only because we recorded this fairly recently. Um, we recorded on Sunday. It's now Tuesday. Um, so no big news has broke since then regarding Star Wars. Did you see the Fantastic Forecast?
No.
Um, and by that I mean the cast of the Fantastic Four movie, not a stellar weather report that's
I
coming up.
was like, what?
No, the cast.
No.
See, for us, it's last week, but for the audience, it'd be like 2 weeks ago. Madam Web came out last week, and that movie was a dumpster fire. So Marvel, in an attempt to kind of make it so that way when Marvel gets talked about, it's positive things and not look at how shitty Madam Web is,
Mm-hmm.
um, to do damage to the brand. It is they put out the trailer for X-Men '97, which is coming out next
Okay.
month. Um, are you excited for that?
I I haven't seen the trailer,
Well,
but
it's
I
the
do really like X-Men movies, so
It's the X-Men animated show from the '90s. It's the next season
oh.
of it they made.
Oh.
Um, people are
Well, they
complaining
probably
it's
ruined it,
people are
like they did
complaining it's
with
woke.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that wasn't Marvel who did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know, I'm just saying.
Which
Not
one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Teen Titans.
That also wasn't Marvel. That was DC.
Yeah, well, they ruined that too, so.
Well, no, it's this isn't like Teen Titans Go to Teen Titans. This is a what's it called? This is what's it called? This is like very much just season 5 of that show, picking up right where the show left off and just continuing on.
Hmm,
Um,
that sounds kind of cool.
and what was it?
Kind of like they did with the He-Man.
Yes. Did you like those He-Man shows?
I thought it was cute.
The ones by Kevin Smith?
Yeah, another one that was too woke for the folks. For the
But the thing
folks.
is, if you watched the show, it wasn't.
No, it
Like,
wasn't.
like it gets to the end and it's like He-Man, like, like that was the thing that sold me on that show is when you get to the very end and it's like he has that line where someone asks where he says get somewhere safe and someone's like where is somewhere safe there is nowhere safe and he goes there is behind me and I was like this is the greatest TV show ever because they know exactly what they're doing and they're leaning into it 100%.
That's funny.
Like but either way it's like this is gonna be and people are complaining that the new X-Men show is woke, which can we address this for a minute? Because like I don't think there's a more quote unquote woke franchise than the X-Men, which started
Yeah.
out as a thing that was meant to be an allegory for the civil rights movement.
Was it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like when
I don't know
Stan Lee
that.
was talking about it back in the day, he said that like Professor X and Magneto are meant to be Martin Luther King.
Lovers.
Well, they're definitely fucking.
Yeah.
But it's Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Oh.
Two people who have the same beliefs fundamentally, but radically different views on how to go about getting to that same end result.
Oh.
Like it's always designed to be that. And then in the 2000s, when they were making the movies, it was meant to be an allegory for the gay rights.
Mm-hmm.
So like the scene where Bobby comes out, quote unquote, to his parents being a mutant, is shot like and dialogue is driven like someone coming out of the closet.
Okay.
Like it's meant to be that. It's always been. And like the Sentinels are designed by the government to track down mutants, hunt them down, and kill them. Like it's very clearly a story about prejudice. Like if you're just
Yeah.
now figuring this out, you're just media
Well,
illiterate.
it's definitely about prejudice. I guess I never like, yeah, but you're right. Like now that I examine it,
Yeah,
sure.
it's the kind of thing where it's like
I
because
just
you
don't like to look at movies as deep as you do.
well, it's the same thing where it's like when you look at like when you see people complain about like oh well in we like how Princess Leia was portrayed, it's like yeah, but she doesn't wear a bra for the entire movie, and I'm fairly certain that if it came out today, it would not be well received.
Yeah.
Like very clearly, it was like there's a famous line from the documentary that I saw where it's like apparently Lucas told her, "Oh, they don't wear underwear in space," and I'm like, I'm fairly certain you didn't tell Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill that. I'm fairly certain there was only one member of the cast who was told they don't wear underwear in space, and that was Terry Fisher.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so to transition to Star Wars, we're gonna talk about The Force Awakens today.
Give a brief plot synopsis.
Okay, so this movie came out in 1977 called A New Hope, and it's that,
No.
but slightly bigger.
No, come on. Do better.
What do you mean do better?
Do better.
That is better.
No, give a plot synopsis with the
Oh, okay,
people.
well, it's a hang on, let me
Brief, but not as brief as you just did.
okay, it's you have a
Keep it to like
girl.
a minute.
Okay, you have a it's about a girl on a
And the
desert
girl's
planet
name,
is Ray on a
okay,
desert planet who a droid ends up with her, and she ends up having to get the droid back to the Rebel Alliance so that way they can use it to destroy a super weapon that can destroy planets.
perfect. Good job.
Great. So, or as I said before, A New Hope.
Okay. Okay. Is
Um,
the problem that I asked you to do a synopsis? Like,
I was
what's
not
the
prepared for
problem?
that. Look, let's be real about this. I go back and forth on this movie in terms of its quality. I don't know about you. Like,
No, I have no back and forward. I have a very set, firm belief in it, and there's no changing my mind.
okay, what is your set firm belief? You can't just say I have a set firm belief. It's like I'll let you figure it out for yourself. You okay? Let me just explain something for
I
the
think that
audience.
it was bad.
Okay. Um, here's the
And I
thing.
didn't like it. And it's not just because not just because, and it's not because of like all the things that people were upset about, I think that the quality was very poor. I think that there's really bad choreography. I think it's really silly that all of a sudden she can just fucking use the force. I think that this is just a really poor, like, uh, like way to portray a very, very cool universe and like the idea of being a Jedi. And they've just done a really shitty job.
I think
I
that
think it's really dumb.
I think that it's not the worst movie because on a technical level, there are a lot of things that work pretty well about it.
Like what?
Like, I think the movie is shot very well, which is more than can be said about like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but who cares if the rest of it sucks?
Like,
If
I
the
think that
substance is poor,
I think that
then
Poe is a fun character in his little bit that he's
Poe's
in
a
the movie.
is who's Poe?
Oscar Isaac, who, by the way, I think the entire new cast here is more talented than any of the prior casts.
Oh,
Like,
Poe. Yeah, I think he's funny.
I think that the cast here, Daisy Ridley, not Mark Ruffalo, Daisy Ridley, what's his name, John Boyega, and and Oscar Isaac are leaps and bounds more talented than.
Right, but they weren't given any good direction.
That's the
So
issue.
they're
But they
so they're
they
not like it's a similar kind of issue that we came up what were we talking about for that one movie with what's his face? The moody broody dude.
what the fuck are you talking about?
The moody broody dude from the other Star Wars, the 1, 2 and 3. No, 2 and
Oh,
3.
oh, Hayden Christensen.
Yes, Christensen. Um, it's a similar issue. Like yeah, sure, they have more talent, but nobody gave them any direction, so they're just fucking aimless, and you just cannot, for the life of you, give a shit about anything that they have to say.
See, I think that that's part of the problem, is that this movie is very mission oriented, where it's like let's get point A to point B to point C to point D. And I think too, this movie lacks a lot of important context, and I'm not entirely sure that the
Yeah,
context that was eventually given makes it better.
no,
Like,
no,
why
I
is there like
agree.
we're starting to get it a little bit in like The Mandalorian and in Ahsoka, where it's like, why is the Resistance separate from the New Republic?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no explanation given in the
You're just
movie
supposed
as
to
to why that
know.
is. And no, not even that, because it's not like they said like, oh, this came out in a book 6 months prior. If you read the book, you're good. If not, which was the case for
Right.
like Rise of Skywalker, it's like the Emperor being alive was revealed in a Fortnite event. Like, so it's not even that. It's just kind of like they go into it. It's like, oh, so the Resistance is its own thing, and then in Bloodlines they eventually explain it,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a little bit explaining. It's a little bit more passive, and you have to have watched and cared about Andor to understand it. Um,
Oh.
where it's like why everything is the way it is, but I don't think that there's enough here to 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 really drive that home. Um, and I saw this movie multiple times in the theaters too, including twice in 3 days. At one
I
point.
fell asleep. And it's not very often that I ever fall asleep in a movie. And
Uh,
I fell asleep in this one. And I have fallen asleep most times watching it. I have watched all the way through because like I've woken up and then gone, oh shit, I didn't finish it. And then
can I
I
can I tell you what Peter said when we saw this movie in theaters opening night?
what?
So it was me, him, and his girlfriend at the time went to see this movie opening night. Um, and it was preview night. We all went. We got there 2 hours early because this was in the era before COVID, obviously, where
Mm-hmm.
all the theaters had assigned seating. So we got there
Yeah.
2 hours early, had to stand in line to get our seats. So we eventually get
Wow.
into the theater. We're sitting 2 rows from the front, and it's the three of us. It's me, him in the middle, his girlfriend on the other side, and the the movie starts and the Star Wars logo comes up on screen, and there is full applause in the theaters. And he leans over to me and goes, "I fully understand theater shootings now."
What the fuck? What's
So,
wrong with him?
and then it's like the best thing that happened though was when Han Solo gets killed. The guy next to me on the other side, like who anytime something cool happened, you would have thought that I was giving him a handy, like, and he
I
would
bet you were, weren't you?
like the reaction he was getting when Han Solo died. He started rocking back and forth in his seat,
Ooh!
going, "I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this." I'm like,
Oh,
it's a fictional
I
character.
think I think you're making fun of somebody with autism.
I mean, I think it's
Why
okay
are
because
you always doing this? Always.
I
You're
didn't we
always picking on people with autism.
it not you're making it sound like it's every time.
It is all the time.
No, it's
Like
not.
anytime you have a problem with somebody, it's like the things that you explain that you have a problem with. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like somebody with autism. Like, what's
Or
wrong with you?
maybe you're just being judgmental and
It
assuming
could
that
be.
anyone
I definitely have a lot of opinions.
exactly. See, that's the thing. You wouldn't know it from listening to the show,
I know.
but
I'm opinionated about the wrong
what do
things
you
for the
think about
show.
this? I don't know.
I don't have a lot of opinions about what we talk about.
I don't know. I tuned you out 10
I'm
minutes ago.
like,
What are we
I
talking about?
just, I'm like, yeah, you got enough opinions about it for the both of us.
Um,
You don't need me for this. I'll just,
um,
Don't call me out like that.
but yeah,
That's
so
bullying.
I'm definitely clipping that out and putting it in on Spotify. You could have like a trailer. You can put together like best of clips. I'm definitely putting that in there.
What?
What
You
you
have
saying?
enough opinions for the
You
both of
no
us?
you saying I have a lot of opinions, and then me saying you wouldn't know it from listening to this show.
Oh,
Um.
so your zinger's the better one? I
Oh,
thought mine was
100%.
good. You have enough opinions for the both of us.
When you're the editor, you get to pick what the
Yeah,
best.
but you can't actually just make it funny. It has to be funny first.
Um. But yeah, so either way, I don't think this guy was autistic. I think it was just he was overreacting to this.
Yeah,
Um.
because he was overstimulated.
Yeah, I don't think that was it either. But
The poor man.
and by the way, it's like
You're such a bully.
the two of us would always judge people anytime people would clap in a movie theater. And then I clapped, and I got a death glare that's seared into my memory.
Say you could have just left it at judge people.
Um, but yeah, it didn't bother me killing Han Solo because
No, me either, because it
Harrison
seemed like
Ford
it
has
had to
and
happen.
Harrison Ford wanted it to happen since like 1980, so it's like, all right, he
Yeah, it's
finally got
kind of
what he
like
wanted.
putting him out of his
Yeah,
misery.
exactly.
Like,
He's like I pray for George Lucas's death every day is what he's like it's one of
yeah.
those things where it's like he obviously very barely wanted to be there.
Nah, yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things where it's like I
And then he got his movie and his movie was bad.
the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a few months
Okay.
or a few weeks. I don't think that movie's as bad, and I don't think the movie being bad is 100% the fault of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think
Yeah,
it's
I think Harrison Ford did what he could do with it, but it was just a bad movie.
well, Harrison Ford
Like,
wasn't in it.
oh,
It was Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Aaron, right? What are you
You
talking
couldn't
about?
tell by the fact that the kid was like 20 and not in his 80s.
I just assumed it was
CGI.
yeah,
No,
Alden
no.
Aaron, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Who is this guy?
he was. Did you see Oppenheimer?
Yeah, that doesn't look like him.
That's the guy who played Han Solo in the movie.
But they CGI'd him.
No, that's it's makeup.
Oh,
That's
Han Solo in this is not the one where he died. Yeah, this is the one that he dies,
yeah. What are
right?
you talking about?
I think I might be.
You're talking. You mentioned Solo. I was, and you said you didn't like Solo, and I was like, yeah, but that wasn't Harrison Ford. That was Alden Ehrenreich.
Did I say Solo? I was thinking of Indiana Jones. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's where the confusion came.
Okay.
Sorry. I was
No,
thinking
that was
I
not good
meant to
either.
say Indiana Jones.
No, that was not good
Um
either. Dial of Destiny.
yeah, like he got his Indiana Jones his solo movie, meaning on his own.
Okay.
His movie
That
by
was that
himself.
was the mistake that I made
Sorry.
because you said that and I was like, but he wasn't in Solo.
No, solo movie, meaning like his movie, to be Indiana Jones, and it was not,
Good.
um, yeah, it was not good, but I don't think it was his fault
No,
either, that movie. I think they just gave him a bad movie. Like, what the fuck? They just shit that out.
see, but like the issue is too, it's like a lot of the things that are wrong with this movie are kind of endemic for the entire sequel trilogy, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
there is no plan. Like very clear, and you haven't read Bob Iger's book. And that's not me attacking you for it. That's me saying you don't have the time or attention span, which sounds mean, but I don't mean it that way. To
Oh,
read
sure you do.
to read a memoir by the CEO of the Walt Disney Company.
No,
Um,
that's not gonna ever happen in our
exactly.
whole lives.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean.
You just are, you're not trying, but you're just
Exactly. It
succeeding.
just happens.
It just happens. It's just natural. Just
Um,
comes out that way.
so so what I mean is I read that book, and in the book he talks about what went into getting the deal made.
Hmm.
Because the board had to approve the buyout of Lucasfilm. And what happened was he had to guarantee that the first movie would be out by the end of the fiscal year, whatever it was, fiscal year 2025, 2015. Um,
Okay.
which it ended up not making because the Disney fiscal year ends in November. They ended up delaying it into December because it was supposed to come out in May.
Oh.
Because that's historically when Star Wars movies have come out. They're a May summer blockbuster. They moved it to
Hmm.
December starting with this, and that was where it kind of lived from then on. Um,
Oh.
so the issue was they had to rush it into production.
Okay.
The There was no plan for the sequel trilogy at any point.
Oh.
And what happens is it's a weird thing when you think about what the stories are is you know
Stop writing this shit.
like J.J. Abrams started the story.
Hmm.
Then Ryan Johnson comes in and picks up the threads that he left and is like,
Hmm.
okay, but what if we went this way with it? Then you get to the third one, and this is where the big disjoint comes in, where it's like J.J. Abrams didn't like what Ryan Johnson did, so
Hmm.
he undid a bunch of it and had to redo a lot of it, which
Okay.
in the last movie of a trilogy, you can't be doing.
Right.
If you're gonna sign on to finish out this trilogy, and you can't be like, okay, but I'm gonna undo a bunch of stuff that was just happened, and then do it the way I want it. It doesn't work that way. You got to pick up and deal with what you were left.
Hmm.
Like, and to an extent, no one told him that, which is
And make it
why,
work
right.
and stuff.
And let's be real. I think that had he picked up the threads where Ryan Johnson left them at the end, and we'll get to the Last Jedi in a few weeks. Like, I think we're on diametrically opposed views on the Last Jedi because I really enjoy that movie. Like, and I think it takes a lot of risks and it does a lot of interesting ideas.
Well, I guess
Um,
we'll find out next week.
well, I know the answer to this already because we've discussed it already in
Okay,
private.
okay,
Like,
okay.
but the
I'm not allowed to like leave any mysteries,
and either way, it
apparently.
wouldn't be next week because the next one's Rogue One. Um,
Oh, well, then why'd you say next week?
I said within the next month or so.
Is that what you said? Oh
Yeah.
boy. I
um,
was listening. I tried.
um, but like the idea of um, like Kylo Ren deciding to become like the Emperor and deciding to become the head of the First Order is a
Hmm.
cool idea. Like, and have it be this idea where it's like instead of
Okay.
having a bad guy who is redeemed, it's
Hmm.
just have someone who's like, no, I'm evil. This is who I am. I've made this choice. Like, have that be the way it goes. Like, because that would be something different for Star Wars instead of it doing the same story we already saw.
Hmm.
Like, instead, like the arc for Finn in this movie in The Force Awakens is he is begrudgingly joining the Resistance. And then in the next movie when we meet him, he's trying to leave, but then he makes a conscious choice to to remain with the Resistance.
Hmm.
Like that, like that,
Okay.
like we'll talk about it more when we get to the Last Jedi. But there's the scene that a lot of people don't like, the scene where he fights Phasma
Mm-hmm.
and he breaks her face mask and he calls himself Rebel Scum. Like people don't like that scene. I don't get it because it is a perfect encapsulation of where he is at that point in the arc. He has now full-throatedly made the decision. I am now completely defected.
Full-throatedly, huh?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
You never heard that expression before?
No. Is that a New York thing? You
It's
guys
a
throating things a lot?
no, um it's like a full-throated scream. You've never heard that before?
No.
That's definitely an expression.
Mm.
A deep-throated scream. Um but no, it's like you have
Oh,
that.
it didn't autocomplete on Google, so it can't be that good of a
It,
reference.
it it's definitely something people have said before. But regardless, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that is him entirely deciding
It is a
he's now with
thing,
the.
but it's not like a normal thing.
Okay,
And
well,
it's not fully used. Like if Google doesn't autocomplete it, it's not
all
like
right, we're moving the
normal.
goalposts here. But the point
Oh.
is, for him to be completely sidelined in the third one should have been, especially for where the story is, him creating a rebellion of the stormtroopers on the Imperial carrier, on the Star Destroyers.
Hmm.
But that doesn't resolve his arc, and that's JJ who's like, I don't want to do that, like because I saw him becoming a Jedi, and it's like, but that's not where we leave off with this character, so you can't just decide to change things for the sake of changing things.
Hmm.
And and I think a lot of the decisions later on harm this movie because they don't go anywhere. Like and the things we do get explanations of are not satisfying. Like the idea of Snoke in this movie is like, oh my God, who's Snoke? Is he Plagueis? Is he I saw a theory it's a body of Vader that's been reanimated. I like all kinds of theories about who Snoke is, and it's like, okay, that these things could be cool. Like,
Right.
and then they kill him in the next movie, and I'm like, all right, I get what this is. This is them showing how powerful, Kylo Ren is compared to this. Because you have this guy who's like the Emperor, Kylo Ren kills him like a bitch, and then we move on from there. Like, I get what you're going for. But then for it to be explained where it's like, oh, it's a failed clone of Palpatine, it's like, that's the least interesting possible explanation you could have gone with for this. You didn't need to re explain that.
Hmm.
Because all you do when you re explain it is you give no context. And then the issue became, too, where it's like, when this came out, they had ditched at this point all of the old EU content and were like, everything old is now Legends, everything from here on out is now
Right.
canon. And the promise of that was the tiered canon system that existed, where it's like the movies were A canon, the TV shows are like B canon, and so on and so forth. Like that no longer exists. Everything's equally canon, but there's no story group that's kind of keeping everything together.
Hmm.
So things are constantly contradicting each other
I
to the point where
agree.
it's like, Battlefront 2, the video game, introduces this idea of Operation Cinder, which I've called affectionately Palpatine's Operation Fuck Me, Fuck You, where in the event that he dies, he sends out these things to all these like friendly planets to the rebellion and just fucking annihilates them from orbit.
Okay.
Like, so that thing doesn't make sense in the context that he's just biding his time until he can come back. Because why
Hmm.
would he do that? It makes no sense. So
Right.
all these other books after the fact had to retcon why that was the case. So the new explanation is that was the plan to try and distract the rebellion so that way the Imperial army can amass on Jakku. And it's like, but none of it makes sense.
Hmm.
And I know it's not specifically the fault of this movie that none of it makes sense, but it's
But it is a
specifically
lot of it.
exactly the movie doesn't set you up in place. It sets up too much stuff where
What
it's
did I
like
say last time that we've reviewed this movie before?
we did, yeah, we reviewed it. Um,
I said that
7
it
years
was
ago.
like a spoiled little brat came in and just said, "No, I'm gonna do Star Wars for the way I want to do it,
Yes.
and just fuck everything else."
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna tell the story I want, and everyone have to deal with that and deal with the repercussions of that.
yes, and it
And
was,
and that's what
yeah,
JJ did with this,
yeah.
where it's like everyone's got to deal with the way I want this story to go, and then the
Hmm.
people who came after were like, okay, fine, we will do that. We will adjust and we will go the way that, we will work within your
We'll go with
confines.
your shitty fucking story.
And then he came back and was like, I don't like what you did either. So everyone else has to realign to figure out what I want to do next. And it's just become a headache for, for Lucasfilm since.
Hmm.
Because nothing says we had a plan like 5 years now, because we're now 5 years out from the Rise of Skywalker, 5 years worth of books and TV shows and stuff retconning in how these things all work together within the wider Star Wars
Right,
universe. Like there was no question about how the prequels fit in.
right.
Like it's just nonsense.
It is nonsense. I
And
I fully agree. This I this movie was like devastating. This movie and like the start of this series was something that made me feel like, oh my God, I think I might not really be into Star Wars anymore because they just kind of did I just think it was very poorly done.
I think that like the thing was it's like coming off of the prequels. I
Hmm.
walked out of this the first time being like, holy crap. Like and the practical effects age very well. A lot of the effects in the movie age very well.
Hmm.
I don't want to shit on the movie that much because like it still looks good 9 years later.
Yeah, but it doesn't, you need more than just it looking good.
I mean, look, if I had to choose between watching this and watching Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, I would pick this. I would not watch this over Revenge of the Sith, like, but uh,
You'd pick it
beyond,
over what?
I would pick it over Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace.
I
Be-
wouldn't.
because look, at least the plot within the movie, the A plot of the movie, makes sense, and that's because it's just ripping off the original Star Wars.
Mm.
Like it's just Star Wars but bigger. It's like and like you said, like a little kid, it's like, yeah, but this time the Death Star can destroy entire planetary systems and it gets powered by an entire sun. And it's like, yeah, and it's like it says a lot about the audience too, a little bit, and how J.J. Abrams views the audience, where it's like the the Nazi imagery of the original trilogy is
Hmm.
is not subtle. But apparently it was too subtle for some people, so then when they do this one, it has to be a lot more overt. And I'm like, I don't think
Okay.
that was necessary either.
Hmm.
Like, I think about that
I don't
scene
think
where,
that it was either. I mean, I don't know.
oh, 100%, that scene where Hux is giving the speech on Starkiller. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no, no, there was definitely
100%.
like this was some I like there was a lot of Nazi imagery. I
It's
would
about it's
agree.
about it's about as subtle as a sledgehammer in that regard. Like, it
Oh
makes the
boy.
first three look a lot more subtle.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
but it's like the final space battle looks great.
It's not enough.
Um, I agree. I'm not super gung ho about the lightsaber fight, although it's like I do
The
understand
coordinate,
why.
the the choreography for it, for that whole, for every movie in this series is terrible. Just absolutely rancid. Just bad. And there's no good excuse for it. It's just shitty. It's just shoddy work.
I think
It's like they forgot that
creates
it's supposed to be an awesome action movie too.
this one creates the best narrative reason for the lightsaber fight looking weird in a way that like they did for the other two. Because by the time you get to like the last
Sure.
one,
But how come she can all of a sudden do force shit?
I don't know. They tried to explain that with her being a clone. Is she a clone or is she a descendant of a clone of Palpatine? I don't remember. I think she's a descendant of a clone of
She's like,
Palpatine.
I thought she was a descendant of Palpatine.
Yeah, no, I think that her father was a clone.
Okay.
and the clone fucked, and then she was
Okay.
born.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it's time to rank it.
like I want to go to bed.
I'm tired,
Yeah,
yeah. I know that it's like 7. I'm exhausted.
the clone fucked Jodie Comer, and then we ended up with Ray. And I don't hate Ray in this. I want to make that clear. I liked Ray in this trilogy.
I thought she was fine.
Like, and I think too, it's like I think she
I
also
think she could have
suffers.
been cooler.
She
I think
suffers
like to
from
be a female lead, like she could have been cooler.
she suffers from a lot of the issues that we end up with a lot of in a lot of these movies. Um, where it's like she doesn't have a ton to do to make
Yeah.
her interesting, and it's not her fault because I've seen Daisy Ridley in multiple movies since,
Right.
and as an
She's
actress,
great.
she's a good actress. It's like,
She
and that's the
really
thing with a lot
is.
of like, did you watch They Clone Tyrone on Netflix?
No,
Watch that movie because John Boyega
I
is
don't have Netflix
fantastic in it.
anymore
John Boyega is
because I don't want to
fantastic in
pay
it.
for it. And they turned off like the sharing.
Do you have T-Mobile?
No.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, he's great in that. I mean, Oscar Isaac is fantastic in Dune.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he is a one of the best working actors now, Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac. And like
It's not the actors' faults. Like,
no,
I
they
don't blame them at all. It
right.
is not them, and they should not be stigmatized for it or
Like
anything. I think it's poorly, it's purely poor direction and vision, and it's just got fucked all the way through.
and it's like and one of the things is I saw a lot of people complaining when the movie came out. It's like, oh well, why didn't they put all the characters together before they killed Han? And I'm like, that's not something that bothers me. Like the direction they took Han in doesn't bother me. What
No, me
bothers me
either.
about the direction they took Han in is that there's no explanation for it.
Yeah,
Like they don't explain it in the context of the movie how we got from where we were to where we are.
right. No,
Like
they don't. He's just there.
that's the issue is that it's like, oh, so he lost the Millennium Falcon. But like
How?
how? Like it's it's one of those things where it's like that's something that should be explained in
And
the
we would
movie.
care because we
Exactly.
care. We want to know how he
Exactly.
did.
How did the marriage end? And we end up figuring it out, but it's never really articulated specifically
Right.
where it's
Well,
like,
we don't need it to be articulated
no,
specifically, but
no, but
I don't
like
know.
maybe a little bit more specificity to that's what caused the marriage breakup is what happened with Ben, because even
Mm-hmm.
that's not clearly like they never establish a timeline. Like
No.
we extrapolate that the marriage ended because of what happened with Ben, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
ever articulated, and it could very well easily be that Han Solo is just a dick because he is.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
if you told me that they got divorced 15 years before that, and then it's just like, oh well, here here he is now too. It's like I would buy that
Right.
just as much, and they just don't articulate that. Um, so in our ranking, um, why don't we just go this the easy way? Hang on, let me fix this.
You can put Andor above it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the,
You're welcome to do that.
the issue with what your ranking system, with you putting Andor as low as you did, is that it fucks me and forever. It's like, yeah, Andor should be top three, but it's not.
It's not because it doesn't deserve to be.
Oh no, it definitely does.
We split the difference, didn't we?
No, we
I
didn't.
said that it was bullshit, and you said that you loved it, and so we split it in the middle.
No, we put it down. It is down at number 19 right now. Um,
And that's, well, we split it at the time.
yeah.
So I
Um,
think it deserves to be below Andor.
okay,
You're welcome.
so what we have, such a backhanded way of saying that. So let's do it this way. So our movie ranking right now is number
I've been
one.
being really backhanded lately. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it. I don't know what's
Number
wrong with me.
number seven, we have the Clone Wars movie. Number six, we have Phantom Menace. Number five, we have Attack of the Clones. Number four, we have Return of the Jedi. Number three, we have Revenge of the Sith. Number two, we have A New Hope. Number one, we have Empire Strikes Back. I would put this between four and five. That's my issue. I would put this between Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones because the movie is not technically poorly made. The plot may not be great, and there may be a lot of issues with it, but on a
I think that it's
technical
a bad
level,
Star Wars. I think it's a bad Star Wars movie.
but it on a on a
And this is a Star
technical
Wars ranking.
on a
It's not about whether or not it's a good movie. It's about, is it a good Star Wars movie?
but at the end of the day, it still is because it whether or
It's
not it,
not a good Star Wars movie. It's a
but
shitty Star
it
Wars
has
movie.
fundamental there are fundamentals of filmmaking that fail in the other two movies. Visually, they're ugly movies, and it makes it hard to get through. The acting is terrible in the other two. Like, and Attack of the Clones doesn't have much of a plot that is worth thinking about. Like, that alone should put it above, should put it below, put it above those. Because
I disagree.
at minimum, even though I'm remembering it because it's just ripping off A New Hope, it's at least got a more memorable plot. And
But does it?
I've seen Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace more times, and I can tell you I remember Force Awakens a lot better.
I don't know.
Um, how about we split the difference and we put it between Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace?
Sure.
All right, so Force Awakens, which puts it. Now I have to do one more thing. So, do you think it's better than either season of The Mandalorian?
No.
Okay,
I think
so
The
it.
Mandalorian was better.
Okay,
Um,
so it is now our new number 23. So our full ranking goes like this. Number 27, Thrawn
oh my
Alliances. Number
goodness.
26, The Clone Wars movie. Number 25, Thrawn Treason. Number 24, The Phantom Menace. Number 23, The Force Awakens. Number 22, The Mandalorian Season 1. Number 21, The Mandalorian Season 2. Number 20, Attack of the Clones. Number 19, Somehow Andor Season 1. Number 18, The Bad Batch Season 2. Number 17, Ahsoka. Number 16, The Bad Batch Season 1. Number 15, Thrawn. Number 14, The Force Unleashed. Number 13, The Force Unleashed 2. Number 12, The Mandalorian Season 3. Number 11, Jedi Fallen Order. Number 10, Jedi Survivor. Number 9, Dooku Jedi Lost. Number 8, Tales of the Jedi Season 1. Number 7, Kenobi Under My Protest. Number 6, Dark Force Rising. Number 5, Heir to the Empire. Number 4, Heir to the Jedi. I'm sorry. Number 4, Return of the Jedi. Number 3, Revenge of the Sith. Number 2, A New Hope. Number 1, Empire Strikes Back. And on that note, we'll wrap up because my laptop's dying.
Okay.
So until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.
Bye.